Good morning and thank you for joining me. I'm Teresa Crawley at Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. Today I wanted to show you, we just got this traded in. It's a 2019 Newmar Ventana. It's the 4037 floor plan, and it's got just everything you could need in a motorhome for a really great price because obviously it's used. Take a quick look around and I'll just go over some specs for you. We've got a 400 horsepower Cummins engine. This is built on a Freightliner chassis. And then we have an all-electric coach here, so no propane to mess with. We've got a bath and a half. We've got sleeping for 5 or 6 people. And just a really well laid out, high quality motorhome here for your family to enjoy. Lots of little extras were added, like, excuse me, we're prepped for solar. We've got power rewind, water hose, and our 50 amp is also on a power rewind, which we'll see when we get down there. We've got 2 15,000 BTU air conditioners with heat pumps added, and all kinds of other little great things that we'll get into the details of. Washer, dryer, lots of TVs, things like that. So let's take a quick look around. I'll show you the living area to begin with. We've had this optioned in with 2 recliners. The cool thing about the recliners is, 1, they're very, very comfortable, but 2, they're removable and movable. So they're not attached to the floor here, meaning if you need to bring dog kennels rather than have a recliner, you could take one or both of these out, or swap them for something that you prefer, like a no gravity chair or something like that. So these are really great. They also can be turned totally sideways, and then you get a little bit more walkway when the slides are in. So that's another great feature of these, but they are just very, very comfortable, very cushy, and a great place to watch TV in the evening. Our TV is obviously directly across, and that is on a televator, which means that it's on a power button, and I'll show you how that works as well. There's just a little button right behind me here. I'm gonna need to see, there it is. Okay, and we just can push it up or down when we're ready to watch or have that tucked away. The beauty of that is that you can get a really great view out the window or watch TV and have the option either way. Some people couldn't care less about having a TV in their motorhome, and that's another great thing about this televator system. We obviously have a little end table here, and this is attached to the floor, so it won't be wobbling around or being a concern when you go around corners. And then we have some great storage in here with some extra little places. You'll see a little bit of extra storage in several of the cabinets in here, and I believe that they were aftermarket, but they were done really well. So we'll see those as we go through. A little bit more storage up here. And you'll see Newmar does this really great felt carpeting. That's going to help for things not to shift or make as much noise when you're turning corners. Also help your stuff to not slide around and get damaged. As always, Newmar does an excellent job with their wood cabinetry. Their hinges are always very stout, and then they do some really nice decorative work as well. Over here, we obviously have your booth dinette. There is going to be storage under either side of this booth. And as I was talking about earlier, there's just some extra little pieces that have been added for storage. These are obviously going to be removable if you don't care for them, but great place to put some of your pots and pans, or if you wanted to just keep these, that's going to make a great place for your cards and poker chips, things like that. And then this, which is very unusual in a Newmar, is actually going to become a bed as well. So this table, there's a lock here that you just release very simply, and then you push it down. Once it's level under this, there are 2 cushions that we can put here that are stored in the back, and then this would be a sleeping place for 1 or 2, I would say probably children. And then this just locks right back into place when you're done. We have roller shades throughout, so we have day and night MCD shades. Very nice to just easily pull down. These are definitely preferable in a motorhome because they don't make very much noise going down the road. So rather than blinds that make a lot of clinking, these are actually very, very quiet, but they do a great job at keeping the sunlight out too. right, coming over here, we'll see some of this kitchen area. Lots of storage here. And again, we've got the carpeting in the shelves. We've got some nice pullouts that Newmar added. Directly overhead, we have an exhaust fan that's going to really help with steam. Or if the coach is just getting really warm, that's going to really help to get that heat out quickly. And then I'll just go around and show you all of these extra little cubbies and things that we have. Now here we have a double stainless steel sink. And something that I want you to note is that this is a solid surface countertop. It's not as heavy as, say, a granite would be, but it's going to be very, very durable over the years. And this can be polished out if you happen to get scratches in it or something like that. Corian is very well known for being a very stout countertop. And it's in every countertop in this whole motorhome. There's no place where you're going to find a sticker on a piece of plywood. So Newmar really does take pride in the quality of their build from the get-go. Back here we have what would be considered probably a bread holder, but honestly most people are putting their coffee makers back there, toasters, etc. There is a plug-in back there, but it just keeps it nice and neat here. Also helps things not to fly around when you're going down the road. We already got that one, but here's a great place for some of your spices. Then here we have your convection microwave oven, which means you can bake in there. One more storage here. And then you'll see I have this pulled out, which I really love these. It gives you extra prep space. It's also a great place to put snacks, beverages. It's kind of a charcuterie board already built in. And then you've got these full extension drawers that can come out here as well. And lots of storage, goes really far back there. And then when you're done with that, you can just bump that out of the way and it locks into place. You don't need to worry about it flying out when you're going down the road. Now here we've got a great place for silverware and things like that. Right now it's a remote control holder. Don't get overwhelmed. There are several TVs on here, so it's not like they're all separate. Down here we have a dishwasher. And then very, very important, your cooktop is induction. But Newmar does something that's different from everybody else. Number one, the opposite side of the covers is cutting board material. So you can use this as your cutting board. And then your induction cooktop can actually be lifted out, taken outside to cook, or if you just want to clean any crumbs or debris that have fallen down there, you can do that really easily as well. And then when you're done, these can go right back on top. We have a nice window added back here. These windows are, they tip out, so you can get some fresh air in even when there's inclement weather. And then for the last of the living area, we have your jackknife sofa. That just works simply like this. Pull it down, 2 adults can sleep there. When it's time for it to go away, you just go in reverse, done. So 2 seconds to get ready for bed. No fussy getting ready for bed in this one. Some extra space up here. This is going to be your audio-visual cabinet, so the remote control can be read through this tinted glass here. That's why it looks different than the rest. But this is where you would hook up your satellite or dish things. You also have an integrated Bose soundbar. And a little bit more storage here. All right. So one more thing in this kitchen area, we do have a really nice pantry that's built in here. These shelves can be adjusted to different heights if you prefer. It's really nice to have those full extension. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to really reach the back there. And then we've got your residential Whirlpool refrigerator and freezer. We have water in the door, but ice is actually down below. And this does have an integrated filter, but the coach itself also has a whole house water filter. And then Newmar does a really sleek lock here. It's just a slide over to the side, and that's going to keep this from coming open if you're taking a corner a little bit too fast, as some of us do. So as I said before, this is a bath and a half model. Your first bath is going to be right here. I get asked all the time, why would I have 2 bathrooms? That's crazy. Well, when your slides are in, this is the only one that you're going to be able to reach unless you have a mid bath, which would be only 1 bath. The problem with the mid bath is everybody's going to see your shower and the spots on it and your shampoo hanging out and all of your stuff. So this is a lot more sleek way to do it. Also, if you have guests, you might need 2 bathrooms. This one only has the toilet and the sink. There is not a shower in this one, so it's not wasting unnecessary space. But of course, we have a porcelain toilet here. Up here, we have your breaker box or fuse box. There is yet another exhaust fan here, and there will be another one in the rear bathroom as well. So 3 total. And those are very, very effective at getting out steam, heat, smoke if you happen to cook a little too hot, etc. This has the cutest little bowl sink of all time, and I'm going to step out so you can take a peek at all of that. It really is a 1-person bathroom. All right, moving back into the master area, we do have these really nice sliding doors. There will be one of these on the bathroom door as well, or bathroom entrance, but I'll just show you this one. This is what it looks like here. The opposite side is smooth, it's not decorative, but I don't know that you need really decorative on the inside. And then these have locks that are already built in, so when they're in or out, that's going to be locking for you. Now, this might need an adjustment. I apologize. We're going to have to work on that later. As I said before, this has not gone through our shop yet, so we are going to fix all the little things. And let me tell you about our shop. It's actually amazing. We have techs that just stay until retirement. We have guys that really know what they're doing. They're the best in the business. But we have a chassis shop as well as an RV shop on site here. We are a Freightliner Oasis Center. That means we have earned a very high satisfaction rate with our customers. We do things in a very timely manner and are very great at communicating what's going on. So again, we have a great reputation for that. But when we get a used or a new unit in, we're going to take it into both of our shops and do very thorough PDIs. They're called pre-delivery inspections. So you're going to get your oil change, your tankless water heater serviced, your alignment, your brakes, all your batteries checked, your heating and air conditioner in both the dash and the house. Everything is going to be checked very, very thoroughly, and we promise this to be camp ready for you. So you can trust that that's going to happen, but we also do a really thorough 2-hour at least walkthrough with you to teach you how to use the coach. And in that time, you're going to get to touch and feel to make sure those things were taken care of as we promised. So come on back into this master suite. It's a very cozy room. And I don't mean small cozy, I mean it feels quieter in here, it's peaceful. This is a king size bed. They call it a rounded corner king. And the reason that they do that is so that you can get into this back bathroom or around to the side of the bed to make the bed much easier. Now this is a sleep number bed. That means there are 2 separate bladders in here so you can adjust their firmness for either person to have their preference. And then under this bed we actually have more storage, and they make it really easy on these lifts. But these 2 pieces that you see here are that bed part for that booth dinette to drop down and become a bed for you. Okay, we have some more storage overhead here. And this goes all the way through. There's no dividers in here. And then underneath, important to point out that we actually have some really great buttons so you don't have to get out of bed at night. We've got your ceiling for this whole room. We've got courtesy lights, so those are the ones around the floor area so you can get to the bathroom without tripping. Left-hand reading, right-hand reading, accent lights, and the backlighting, which will turn this light off so it's not glowing if you're trying to sleep. Then we have your exterior security lights there as well. I think these accent lights are just beautiful on this Ventana. It's almost like an amber was set in there. It's not real amber, but what do you expect, you know? Okay, opposite here we have a really nice dresser. Hanging shirt wardrobe. And there is a part in here. This is not broken. This is actually something that was removed from the passenger side seat intentionally. And that's something that I do point out. Some people really don't like having that table there. The seat belt can actually get caught on it and things like that. Some people love it, some people hate it. So if you don't like it, you can just simply pull it out and leave it behind, as these people did. But we can also just stick that right back in for you. And it's a nice little, kind of a, like when you're on an airplane, a little table for you there. Here we've got a deep drawer for you. Put your socks and things. And then this is another audio-visual cabinet. There we go. Got your Blu-ray player in there. Lots of hookups if you wanted to do dish or direct TV, video gaming system, etc. Down here, some more really deep full extension drawers. Emergency exit window is placed here, but I don't think you're going to need that because we actually have an emergency exit door in this coach. Yet another hanging shirt closet. Love that it lights up. And then two more drawers down here. This one comes out a little further because of this guy. All right, that's pretty much it for the master. We can go on into the bathroom back here. You'll see, as promised, there is another exhaust fan right here. And then right below, this is going to be that emergency exit door I was speaking of just a moment ago. So if there was an emergency, you can just go out this door. There is a ladder that drops down from this piece right here, as you can see. I don't want to deploy it, but just know that it's there and it's very easy to use. And then that piece magnetizes right back on. Make sure you lock that so it doesn't fly open when you're going down the road. Here we've got washer and dryer. Love that this door opens so fully so you can really get in there. Both of the toilets in here are going to be porcelain with macerators integrated. And then over here, really nice space here to put down things, and a really, really large medicine cabinet as well. Down here, really deep storage here as well. That's a good sized drawer. And then coming over here, we have your full length hanging closet. Now back here we have a safe that's added. Actually, I'm going to see if I can get this to open today. Let's see. Because I never get to show this on video because they're always locked. So I want you to see just, that's how deep it is. It's about a finger for me and a little bit to the side, maybe an inch to the side. And that's what the inside of the safe looks like. There's some little hooks in there for jewelry and things like that. Great place to put documents while you're traveling. And as I joke, your gold bars will fit in there quite nicely. Now this is an aftermarket piece, as I was speaking of. I love that the last customer did this. This shelf here as well. They just had needs and they built for them. You of course can have those taken out, or we can do that for you. This is going to be your manual bag right here. So all of those very important manuals already there for you. And then we have one more drawer back here. Obviously this is going to be your shower. So this has a magnetic strip on it to help it to stay in place when you're going down the road, but there's also a lock on here as well to make sure that that doesn't fly open. It can be quite loud if that does happen to fly open when you're going on a drive, so like that they integrated that. Here's your teak fold down shower seat. When you don't need that, it's really nice that it can be tucked away because it does take up quite a bit of space in here. We also have a nice skylight here. That's going to bring in a lot of nice sunlight for you. but also make it more spacious for our taller folks to be able to fit. We also have an aqua miser system in here. That's what these two pieces are. And what that does is recirculate the water in the tank until it's the right temperature, and then you can tell it to come on out, and there's no cold water being wasted. All right. That's pretty much it for the living space of this coach. I'm going to bring in slides so we can get a really good look of what this is like when we're going down the road. The first one is going to be this bed here. Oops. Very helpful tidbit is to hold in, not out, when you're trying to get it to come in, as I just learned. Sometimes when you go, why isn't this thing working? It's because you're pushing it the wrong way. That's wisdom from Teresa. So for those of you who don't know, Newmar did invent the slide-out room for motorhomes. They were the first. They still use the same system, which is a cogwheel system. Same as a cogwheel train would pull a train up a mountain. This is the same system. This brings a slide in, which slides are quite heavy, that way. And then the next slides are up front, all the way to the front, and they're of course placed in places that are out of the way, so you're not going to be in the middle of it. It's going to need to move out of your way, and you'll notice this does lift up slightly and come in. We'll start with the kitchen also, and then they'll both be coming in at the same time. That's not a good idea if you're low on power, but right now I believe I have plenty of power to make this happen. All right. All right, there we go. So we are in, and I'm going to walk through real quick just to show you how much walking space we have going through this area. I can sit here, I can cook, and I can certainly get to this back bathroom, which is really a very important one, partly because of this great pivoting door here. That's going to make this open up quite easily for me. And then of course I can get into this refrigerator. It's going to be a little bit tighter, obviously, but it is possible. All right, so really a nice amount of walking space in here. Some of them really don't have any. So the more the merrier, I say, especially if you have dogs or guests traveling with you. Okay, real quickly, we'll go over this front section. We do have an opening toll window here. Great for tolls, but also if you're trying to receive instruction from somebody outside as far as parking, things like that. Here we have your auto leveling system. Those are hydraulic jacks that will go down very simply. You just push power, auto level, and those will start going down, or I'll retract if that's what you need to do. This isn't going to work because I do not have my ignition on, but that's just an example of how that works. We do have a manual tag dump if we choose to. Most of the time you can just leave that in auto and it will do it for you when you put in the coach in reverse, but you can also control that manually yourself. We have engine brake on off, and we have high, medium, low for that as well. Air horn on and off, and then this is your Allison transmission. Very, very simple to use this. Neutral is going to be park. Of course, you have to use your parking brake also, but drive in reverse, and then you can also shift manually if you choose to, but you, again, don't really need to do that. Up here, some basic things, your lights, fog lights, dome lights. This is actually going to be a jump starter. They call it battery boost. So you can pull from the house batteries to start your chassis batteries and vice versa if you happen to let some get really low. Pedals will bring the pedals closer to me or further away so I can sit here a little bit more comfortably. And then we have powered and heated side mirrors here. We have analog dials up here, and excuse me, we also have something called Comfort Drive. This is a huge deal. Comfort Drive sets Newmar apart for driving. Anytime I drive another brand of coach that doesn't have the comfort drive, which most don't, you really feel the divots in the road. You get pulled around, pushed around when a truck passes you or when it's windy outside. This takes all of that work out and thus makes you be able to drive a lot longer in the course of a day. We also have some, basic controls here, and then I'll just turn this on real quick. And we can see, we obviously have a backup camera that comes up here. Also, when I turn on my side blinker, that's going to turn on my side camera so I can get a really good peek at what's going on next to me. Here I have obviously my media system that can be also navigation. I've got a CD player in there, which I think is kind of cool, and Sirius XM ability. I have powered visor and shade up here, and those are those same shades that we had throughout the house, but they're on a power button, obviously, so I don't have to get up while I'm driving. They will only go halfway down though when the ignition is turned on, or even when we're in accessory mode as we are right now, for safety reasons. I wanted to point out we only have 38,622 miles on this guy, so very low miles, but it was used. For those of you who know anything about diesel engines, they need to be exercised regularly. So this one is showing me it was used to a good amount. It wasn't overused, it wasn't beaten up. This is a good amount of mileage for a 2019 coach. All right, over here we have overhead fans. That's just mostly going to be defrost. You can't see them, but they blow from up above here. And then we also have the ability to turn heat on from the back furnace, not just this front dash air. We also have furnace that comes out down in plates below, and that's from your tankless water heater furnace. So that's what that one is. We have the ability to start and stop our generator right here. And then our front fan, I can turn high, medium, low. Entry, lock, and unlock is right there. And then I have a little bit of storage space for my sunflower seeds, gum, the cell phone charger right here. And then directly above the driver, we have some really important controls. This is our over the entry door awning. This is our larger awning. We have, the light on and off, and the motion detector, high, medium, low. That's for wind. If the wind picks up, it'll come right back in. Our inverters right here. This is to check our tank levels and our battery levels right here. So right now we're looking really nice and empty, which is great for wintertime. And our batteries are also looking quite healthy right now. Over here we have your security lights, exterior step you can turn on or off. These are those slide out controls that we were using earlier. And the Oasis, again, is that tankless water heater. So that's the control for that right there. That's going to be your furnace as well as your unlimited hot water. As much water as you have, it can be hot. And then we have another Sony flat screen TV. A little bit more storage here. And we do have JBL sound system in here. That's every single Newmar coach is tuned by hand. So the guys from the sound company come in, and each coach they come in and make sure it sounds just right for this area in this coach. It's actually pretty cool that they do that. Okay, over here, passenger side seat. This does have a recliner function, and that footrest will come up. But I was talking about that little table that was not in there, and I just want you to see real quick what I was talking about, that it is not broken. It just fits right into this receiver right here. Can you get a good look at that there? So it fits right into this receiver, and it's just a laptop table for you. Enough space for, say, a sandwich, or to put your laptop on and just work while you're going down the road. So it's actually quite handy if you like that. We do have a battery disconnect right here at the door, so when I'm leaving I can just hit that and all the lights and everything will cut power, so I'm not bleeding that power. I have my basement door lock and unlock here. Step cover is going to cover this area here. For when I'm traveling, this is going to feel really nice that my feet aren't dangling as the passenger. Also, if I have a puppy, they're not going to fall down that area if they're not looking. So this just becomes almost flush with the floor here. And then I have cargo lights here, a cup holder, and map light and patio light here. I'll turn that patio light on so we can check it out as we go. Now, Newmar does a really stout door. I know it's hard to show this on video, but I'm going to show you. I have to really give it a pull to get it to go. And the reason that they do kind of these stout doors is because of wind. So I have customers on the lot, oh, I don't want to break it. I'm like, you're going to be fine. Just go ahead. It's a stout door and it's thick and it's really well insulated. People are not going to be able to hear if somebody's out here knocking, which is why we have a doorbell here on this grab bar, as well as a programmable door code that you can enter to get in and out of the coach, also in and out of this basement storage. You can set that as a different code to get in and out of this basement. You can see I have my awning out right now, my main awning. But you'll also see I have extra awnings around here. For those of you who don't know, under that very top awning, there's another thing that looks like an awning. That's a slide topper. And that's really to keep debris out of the coach. Say you had some leaves fall on your slide while you were parked under a tree. You're going to want those to get off of there before you bring that slide in, because you don't want them messing with the integrity of your seals and things like that. So that's a slide topper. Below that, there is another awning, and that is a manual awning. There's a little bar that's included in the basement here. We'll see in a moment. You just pull that down and you can have some really nice sun blocking with just that little one. That's really helpful when you're in a super hot climate, or you can't put your full awning out because there's somebody parked next to you, or there's a tree there, for example. Uh-oh, I have locked the basement. I'm gonna get that unlocked real quick. All right. And then we can take a peek at all this really nice storage. Again, this is gonna have that felt carpeting throughout to help with noise, vibration, insulation. Also for things to not be shifting around when you're going around corners and such. So this is a manual tray here, obviously. This will come out 60% to either side of the coach. That means you can get to the things that are in the middle of the coach without having to crawl in there. It's going to save your back and be very, very nice for you. This is that stick I was telling you about that just pulls that awning piece down. Very simple to use. And then here we can see we have yet another flat screen, Sony TV, Bose soundbar. We also have the ability to turn the auto source from the inside if you wanted to listen to the radio or something like that. Yet another pull-out tray. This one is not a full size. It does not go all the way through to the other side because we have our Oasis system on the other side there. But we do have some extra tiles in case you were to break some of those tiles. The floor throughout this coach is porcelain tile made in Italy, as you can see right there. But this is very common that we see them wrapped up in their original packaging because people just don't break them. You'd have to drop something pretty heavy on them to do so. And this is for your flagpole. There is a flag holder on the side of the coach as well. So if you wanted to put your favorite team or your American flag in there, you can do that as well. Now this one doesn't have much storage at all, but there is a water tank behind here, and that's why they only had this much room to use for storage. So they decided to make it a tool place or a place for hanging things on pegs or putting extra bottles of fluid in here. So this is a great place to bring some extra fluids if you need to. Also put your tools in there. This is a steerable tag coach, and Newmar, as far as I know, they're the only one that makes a 40-foot long coach that has a steerable tag axle. Most of them will have a single axle. This is going to help you have a nicer, larger turning radius. These things can turn, I can do U-turns at stoplights in these things, and I've done it many times. It's remarkable how tightly they can turn, but it's also going to improve your ride quality and the ability to carry more weight. All right, this is the back of that emergency exit door. Just for reference, that's about how far the ladder is going to need to drop down. Then in here we have your chassis batteries, chassis disconnect as well. Nothing very exciting here. And then the back over here, we've got your receiver. If you needed to tow anything, we have the ability to tow 15,000 pounds here. We also have your 7-way pin already integrated. This is a rear radiator coach, but you can still check a few things out here. Oh, there we go. Nice that this is on airlifts too. It makes it a little bit easier. But you can check your transmission fluid, your oil, and then your air filter here. You also have an engine preheat right here. The rarely seen ladder nowadays. Those just usually aren't added anymore. But a lot of us appreciate that we can get up there and clean off the roof, check, make sure our seals are still intact, etc. And you'll notice we do have full body paint on here. Newmar only does full body paint, so sometimes I forget to mention it, but it stays in really great shape over the years. Even if you had to park outside, it's not going to crackle and get yucky. Just they do such a good job. Back here we have yet another storage place. There is a light under here that I could use if I needed to. Get out of the way there. This is where you would fill your def, and it does have a nice gauge to tell you where you're at there. Generally, as a rule of thumb, you're going to need to fill this about every 3rd time you fill your fuel tank. This compartment is just a place to put icky stuff that you don't want touching anything else. For example, a black hose or the gloves that you use to dump your tanks. Great place for that. There is drainage holes back there, so you can actually rinse this out and keep it really hygienic. I just like that it's separate there. And then here we have your water bay. We have outside shower, your low point drains here. We have a black tank rinse. This is where that whole house water filter would go. We're winterized right now, so it's just laying here empty, but we'll fill that up for you. And then here we have your water hose, and it is on a power line, so that will retract for you. For those of you who have not had a motorhome before, this is a big deal. When these hoses are outside, they get dirty and cold and wet, and they just are very, very hard to wrestle to get back into the correct position in here so that you can close your bay door. These power reels really do most of the work for you. And then that brings us to our 50 amp, 50-foot long cord. And this one is also powered. So same thing, really gonna help you to not have to wrestle with it, because it just has a little button right there that'll pull it right in. And then you can just make sure it's not, blocking anything. We have our transfer switch and our surge protector already integrated, and the ability to plug into cable if you're at a park that offers that. Let's see here. This is your Oasis system. Again, this is your tankless water heater / furnace, but it's very comparable to the other brand out there, but it's less maintenance, and it's supposed to be a little bit cleaner burning, so a little bit more environmentally friendly, but you also only have to service it once a year versus every 3 months, so kind of handy. This is the other side of that full-size tray that we had pulled out on the opposite side. And then here we have your house batteries. We've got 6 of those. Oh no, excuse me, that's 8. 8 of these batteries in here. These are deep cycle. Again, this is something we test and make sure that they're up to par for holding a charge and things like that when we do our PDIs. We also are going to make sure that the tires are within the 5-year time period that we allow, and these actually are not, so they will be replaced before the next owner takes delivery. So that's pretty much it for this Newmar Ventana. I think it's just in great shape, and happy to tell you any more you need to know about it. Send you the build sheet, any of that stuff. Carfax is readily available for you as well. So please give me a call, ask for me by name. I'm Teresa Crawley, and I hope you have a really great Christmas.